Alright, hear me out. This is So Says Mr. Thunder. I am Mr. Thunder, and today is Monday, December the 11th, 2023. And this is your first time coming to the podcast, man. I appreciate you for being here, spending a little time with me, just me and my thoughts. And hopefully you'll get something out of it. For those of you who are returning, I can't thank you enough and tell you how much I do appreciate you for continuing to follow me on this journey of a podcast. So, man, with that being said, 2023 is almost over, and life is real. They talk what they say. Life is lifing. But as most of us always, usually talk about when it comes to this time of year, we start thinking about next year. New me, new year, whatever. I forget what the saying is, but anyways, basically either make resolutions with apparently people aren't doing anymore. I heard that on the news the other day that less people are doing New Year's resolutions. So that got me to thinking, and I'm like, you know what? I never have been one for New Year's resolutions because I just resolve issues as they come. But in doing so, I realized that, man, I was looking for something to want to say. It's going to be different for me going forward. And the one thing I kept thinking about today was confirmation, what that has to do with completion, what completion means when it's changing, and all those things, right? So I say that to say that, the Lord works in mysterious ways, right? And as I was trying to figure out what I want to talk about today, those were some of the things that I thought about. Was confirmation as in, man, you know what? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing with this podcast? Have I accomplished the mission that I set forth when I started? And then in doing so, did I complete some of those tasks, right? Did I complete some of the things that I said I wanted to do? And then did it change anything? And I have to say, today I got contacted by a friend, and they were telling me about they had listened to the podcast, they had got caught up, and how they kind of jumped around it and landed on this thought of completion. And what I mean by that is they had created a mission statement for their lives, and maybe one day I can get them on here to kind of tell that story, but I'm just going to summarize it. And the mission statement was complete. And now that the mission statement was complete, what is next? And in that, the piece that was found in the completion changed their lives, their way of thinking, and now they're they're on to the next best thing, which is the best thing for them. And I could not be more happy to receive that information because it had also given me my confirmation that I was able to provide them with a resource in this podcast that allowed them to, kind of go along with the same things. And had I, that it's crazy. I was thinking about it today, right? And then I get this confirmation in the message that answers all those questions that I was asking myself about confirmation, completion, and change. So I believe that my confirmation of doing the podcast and the reasons for it have been validated in that conversation. Not only that, I believe that I completed the task at hand as far as actually getting it started and being consistent. And has it made a change? Yeah, it's definitely changed me. it's changed me in a way to where now I realize that, either way, confirmation, completion, and change, it's the end. It's the end of something. And what I mean by that is if you get confirmation on something, that means you no longer have to ask. If you get a completion on something, you no longer have to do. If you get a change, then you no longer have to be. And these are all things that end. And once it ends, it's almost like, what's next? It's time to move on, right? So in doing so, you start another process of, do you see? Do you confirmation? Do you have confirmation? Do you have completion? And do you have change? Do you see? What do you see? That's the question I have for you. Have you been in a situation where you've asked yourself for confirmation? Like, if I could just get confirmation on this, Lord, or if somebody could give me confirmation that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, that'd be great. Were you ever at the point where you was like, man, I just need to finish this. I need to complete this task and get it off my plate? Have you found yourself in doing that? And in that, have you noticed the change? What does the change look like for you? And have you realized that in doing so, in order to start something new, something old has to end? I believe that this is the season of change, right? Do you see? It's the season of confirmation. Have you received your confirmation? This is the season of completion. That task that you put before you, that goal that you set, that first step in the next step. Number one, did you complete it? And then change. Did it change you? Are you in a season of change? Are things changing? Are jobs and careers changing? Are children growing and moving on? Are they, experiencing things like that's just new, something that you've never had before, and it's changed you? What does that look like for you? Are you okay moving on from that? I always ask myself, when I'm looking in the mirror and I'm looking for information, I ask myself, what do you see? Do you see the old you? Do you see the right now you? Or do you see the new you? Do you see? Man, that's the message. I hope that that helps somebody, or you got something out of it, or it just kind of just got you on a different headspace. I don't know, but one thing I do know is that my whole mission is been to complete this thing, and I believe that I've done so. And the biggest seed that I can lean on is consistency. So I'm just glad to be at this point in my life where I can say that I've done something consistently, and I've received confirmation that I completed the task, and it's changed my life, and it's going to change yours. So this has been So Says Mr. Thunder. I'm Mr. Thunder. I'm a Native American of this country, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. If you would like to give me any feedback, or even you find yourself wanting to be a part of this podcast, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram at So Says Mr. Thunder. I can be found on all podcast platforms. This one specifically is Spreaker, but I know a lot of people do Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcast, and then it's also on YouTube as well. Speaking of change, y'all, I know I've gotten a lot of people telling me that I need to put this on the platform to where it gets filmed and we put it out there in the atmosphere. So I have planted the seed of this podcast into a young man that is a wonderful talent, and hopefully when he gets back after getting caught up on this podcast, he'll have a vision to bring that to light, because I do believe that I need to get this in front of more people in a way that is different from what I thought I was going to do, but ending up doing anyways. So with that being said, stay tuned for 2024. Hopefully we'll get this on film, get it recorded, have a couple episodes for you to view and see the people that I've been talking to, and potentially maybe you will be one. But we'll see how that goes. But anyways, I appreciate you for spending a little bit of time with me, just hearing me out. And again, don't forget to ask yourself what you see when you look at yourself in the mirror. Do you see confirmation, completion, and change? Until next time, I'll holler at you. Peace.